Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our live stream at Montfort University, all about career opportunities. Today, we're going to be joined by our employability officer, Phil. So we're just going to say hello to Phil right now.
Hi,
hello,
everyone.
Phil. How are you?
I'm doing all right, thanks. Glad to be here.
Fantastic. And you're on campus at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah. So I've got a quiet spot on campus, so I can talk to everyone. Yeah.
Fantastic, brilliant. So can you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do at De Montfort?
Yeah, of course. So, my name's Phil Grierson. I'm an employability officer. I'm based within business and law, but there's an employability officer in each of the faculties. So, Chem will have one, ADH, and HLS. I have equivalents all across campus. So, my role is primarily centred on the advice and guidance. Provision for students, so all your one-to-one appointments, your CVs, your applications, but also involved within that is a good deal amount of employer engagement as well. So I'd be speaking to employers, getting them to speak on campus, supporting events that people will be attending, obviously online primarily at the moment, and just really ensuring that students from as soon as you start to beyond your graduate are getting the opportunities that will help them with their future employment and career plans, really.
Fantastic, brilliant. So yeah, and I work in the Chem faculty, so the Computing, Engineering and Media. So I'm part of the student recruitment team. So today we're going to be chatting to Phil, asking any questions at all about career opportunities that students can expect. So do ask your questions in the live chat, and hopefully we'll be able to answer those for you. So we're going to start and go straight in, if that's okay, Phil. So first of all, one of the first questions is, what support is there available for graduates?
So yeah, as I've touched upon, so myself and my colleagues across the teams and the placement teams all offer a range of one-to-one support. So for postgraduate students, we do have dedicated support for postgraduate research students and postgraduate taught students as well. So there's two bespoke roles supporting those students, and my colleagues will be there as well. So that could range from anything. It could be that you want an application checked. It might be that you have an interview coming up and you want to go through something. It could even be that you don't even know where to start. You might have joined the university and have started to go, oh, actually, I've started my global MBA, but actually I'm really not sure what I'm going to do with this, or actually I've got a bit of experience already. What can I do? Do I need to be doing anything? And then just sort of making sure that there's those activities that I'm speaking about in place as well. So that might be arranging for an employer to speak to students. It might be supporting the larger sort of careers events. So we've got an online showcase coming up centrally with a huge range of employers. For those of you, if you're listening and are prospective law students or even current law students, we've got an equivalent law showcase as well. Health and life sciences and computing, engineering and media also have PAVE events. So those are all centered around employability and kind of broader talks from a range of industry speakers as well. So there's a huge range of stuff provided by my team directly, but we also have things like mentoring programs and enterprise support as well. So if you're kind of thinking, well, I might start my own business or I have one already, then we're in a position to advise there as well. So a large amount of provision, some of it structured, so you might have placements as part of your course, and some of it I guess optional, but highly advised, obviously, to get involved with. So a large amount of our postgraduate courses in Chem and some in ADH have 1-year industry placements, and there's an entire placement team that support that as well.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. So, so in terms of, I think things are a little bit different at the moment, as we all know. So, where is the support? What are the platforms that you're supporting on? Is it all online at the moment, or is there any face to face?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And obviously, there's been a lot of uncertainty across, well, the country and the world in terms of things like this. So obviously, we've had to look at some of our larger events. So the previous careers fair is now a fully online showcase event. The law event that I'm organising within business and law will again be online. So we have the My Gateway platform run by Career Hub that we're presenting on using that, and that's linked to a variety of other platforms. So things like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and similar platforms as well, sometimes dependent on the employer and their provision as well. So I don't think that will come as a great surprise to a lot of people who if you kept up with the news. But in terms of things like our one-to-one support, we're again primarily delivering that via Microsoft Teams, and we do have drop-ins via, we have a system we use at the university called Blackboard Collaborate, which offers a similar functionality. So you can still see people face to face and still go through everything. And in some ways, it's actually easier to sort of share, obviously, electronic documents. You can share your screen. I can point to online resources a bit easier. But for those students perhaps who are watching this and going, okay, feel like my internet's really shaky at home. I've had students say that, or perhaps difficulties with just technology in general, or perhaps it's just as that you might be living at home or something, and you can't have the kind of conversation that you'd like to have with a careers advisor. Then we do offer a limited amount of face-to-face appointments. So myself and my colleagues have a rota basis, and our offices at the moment are open each week with a combination of careers and placement colleagues. So if you are on campus, you can drop in to ask a question still during normal business hours, of course.
Fantastic. So yeah, we do offer that sort of flexibility, as you say, at the moment, depending on whether students actually prefer online interaction with yourself or to come in and have a face-to-face. And sometimes it is easier, isn't it, just to see somebody, albeit socially distanced. But
yeah, of course. And I think you've touched on an important point there. Obviously, we have a larger room, sort of like face coverings are worn and things, and we have a huge range of sort of like obviously like hand sanitizer and things as well. So I did some just yesterday, and it's a very safe environment still. I mean, obviously, it's a little strange. I mean, I won't lie, but obviously you can still get that that support if you need it, and we're still offering the same, if not in some cases more availability online as well. So don't even have to leave the house if you.
That's brilliant. Yeah, so it's really good to hear that that there is that flexible approach being taken at the moment. Yeah. So can I ask you about placements? And obviously that's a very important part of perhaps your degree or any other part of study that you're doing at the moment. But how does that work? And what can students do to make sure they have that opportunity? Or just tell us a bit about how that all works.
Yeah, no problem at all. So as I mentioned before, each faculty has a dedicated placement team. So for postgraduate students who are looking to do a placement at the moment, I think virtually all of the chem courses offer a 1-year placement option. So you would come on if you started say in October time, you would complete all the taught portions of your degree, and then you would with the support of the placement team during that time apply for a variety of opportunities, then go out on your placement for a year, return, and then hand in your final project. And it's a similar format for those starters in October in ADH as well. January, the timeline's slightly different because obviously you'd have done only sort of like half your course, and then then potentially go out on placement. But again, it works in roughly the same way. And again, the placement team's there to support you. There's a limited amount of courses where in HLS you might have some embedded placements. So again, placement team will support as appropriate there, but those would be compulsory, and they're worked out with partner employers. And then in business and law, we don't offer a standard industry placement, but a number of courses have the option for an in-company project. So this would take the place of, I guess, if for most universities, we call sort of like a dissertation or final research project or something, and that can be a range of things. So it might be some consultancy work for a small organization. It might be something like a more research orientated project. It's often with employers that perhaps don't have the capacity or perhaps don't have the knowledge that our students have, and allows them perhaps to add an extra dimension to what they're doing or what their plans are going forward. So there's a lot of different options across the various faculties, and also there's any sort of external internships. Obviously, the various teams like myself can support with applications there as well.
Fantastic. And obviously it's important that they take the opportunity to do a placement if at all possible, but how does it really affect employability? Like at the end of it, if, say for example, the student has done a placement and somebody who hasn't, what would be your advice on
I think May, you're going to know the answer to this from sort of working within the careers team, but I would really encourage all students to look to do a placement opportunity. So if perhaps you're even watching this stream and for whatever reason you're in your second year of study, or you're in any year of study, I'd be looking to gain some sort of work experience, and obviously a placement year, clues in the title, is 1 year of work experience, full time, and really will give you the edge. Unfortunately or fortunately, if you're in the position where you've already done a placement or are looking to do one, not that many students in the UK complete their degrees with a placement, either at postgraduate or undergraduate level. So if you're graduating with your degree and industry experience on top, it will give you a massive advantage. There's surveys out there from sort of like the Institute for Student Employers and Prospects and things that put it at around sort of I've read statistics around between 40 and sort of 60% of employers saying that you need to have some form of relevant work experience to be looking to apply for them and their various graduate schemes. So and as well, just as a person, like especially if you haven't maybe engaged in work or engaged in work relevant to what you want to do going forward, it really helps. Like the difference tutors say that they see when students come back off placement, and the impact that has even on just the final project that they're doing at postgrad level is massive, and also it really gets your foot in the door. The amount of employers that use placements as part of like a talent pipeline into their graduate roles, they know you're doing well for a year, so they're pretty much be silly not to look to employ you, really.
Brilliant. Yeah, so absolutely stressing the importance of doing a placement there. As we know, no knowledge is wasted, is it? So whatever, especially in industry, if you're doing something specific to your degree, absolutely invaluable experience to be had there. So can I ask you about what kind of support is there? I think you've touched on it slightly already, sort of for freelancers or enterprise students, someone perhaps looking to do their own thing. What kind of support can we offer there?
So yeah, we do have a dedicated enterprise team. So they run in a similar fashion to the careers advisory team that I'm a part of, in the sense of obviously their knowledge is centered around starting your own business, sort of going freelance, and kind of really asserting yourself as an entrepreneur. So obviously, if you need to talk through a bit of a business plan, if you need to perhaps talk about where your business is going, then you've got someone there that you can book an appointment with. But beyond that as well, they're increasingly sort of running sessions that link in with things like TEDx talks, and kind of the broader, I guess, entrepreneurial spirit. So even if you're a bit unsure, or kind of are perhaps only just sort of considering that type of thing as an option or as an addition to kind of, I guess, more traditional employment, it's a really good thing to get involved in, and definitely can help you with your transferable skills. So in normal times as well, they've run some really exciting insight trips to sort of Silicon Valley and things as well. So obviously not sure where that'll go in present times, but it's just to highlight really that it's not just about, oh, I've already got my own business, where do I take it next? It can be a bit broader and a bit more about being entrepreneurial or more generally, and that can really help in any job search, especially with networking and confidence building and similar.
Absolutely, yes. And I think a very current topic at the time right now as well, isn't it? With lots of people starting their own businesses out of necessity more than anything else. And yeah, and some really inspiring stories in the news.
Yeah, and it's tempting to think that it's just for business students and just for people that are looking at enterprise courses and courses that centre on kind of business in general. But actually, we've got large numbers of arts, design, humanities students that perhaps have designs, or graphic designers that are looking, as I say, to do freelance work as more of perhaps a side area, or to supplement their income and things. So it's not just about I guess the traditional, and I'd say probably slightly dated view of an entrepreneur. It's really about anyone.
Fantastic. Yeah, so lots of support there, whether you are looking down the traditional route of looking for an employer, or indeed starting your own sort of business or enterprise. Fantastic. So what about if I'm an international student? What kind of support is there that's, because obviously they might come across some different challenges if you're not based in the UK. So what about for international student support?
So yeah, we're aware of the challenges that international students face, and although the careers team in particular can't offer sort of like bespoke sort of visa advice and things, we are aware of those challenges and what sort of opportunities that means you can get involved in. So from the placement perspective, myself and my colleagues, so primarily the placement managers in those areas, will have conversations with employers about the sorts of opportunities that you can undertake, because particularly those smaller and medium-sized organisations, it might be the first time they've taken on someone with an international background, or had to worry about sort of visas and things like that, and the support is there more widely at the university as well from the international team and similar. So it is all there, and we are well versed in supporting in students, and we often refer students as well to the Centre for English Language Learning at the university. So we do try to have a collaborative approach to make sure that you're getting the support you need, basically.
Brilliant. That's really good advice there as well. So so what about obviously we've got all this support in place for our current students and anybody studying at DMU at the moment. Does it stop once you've left De Montfort, or does that continue in any way? So, say if I've already graduated and then 6 months later I decide, oh, actually I could do with a bit of support. What can we offer those students?
So all of those opportunities that I've been speaking about in the sense of one-to-one guidance in terms of attendance at the vast majority of our events are all able to be attended by our graduates as well. And in some senses, obviously, in the modern context at the moment, that's actually easier due to that online provision. But even in more normal times, I've definitely had sort of telephone appointments with students who perhaps have just graduated, perhaps they've graduated, secured a graduate role and maybe want to change direction. Maybe they're considering postgraduate study and are not sure what route to take. And sometimes it's even people that are perhaps 5 or even sort of 10 years out of university who again are perhaps looking for that change in direction or just need another set of eyes over an application, and we're definitely still there. So as part of the DMU for Life offering, you can still access all of those services as well. And obviously we hope that as alumni, you might want to contribute to some of our events as well in a speaking capacity. So we definitely have alumni come back and speak about their organisations, speak about their careers journeys, act as mentors, and that can be really beneficial for everyone. Really gives you an extra dimension to your CV and your career development, but also allows us to draw on your expertise as well. So yeah, we do really try to include alumni and make sure they can still access that support as well.
Fantastic. So yeah, do ask us any questions. So I can see quite a few of you are watching. So if you've got any specific questions for Phil that we haven't already answered, do feel free to pop them in the live chat and we'll try and address those for you. So what about, so we've talked about alumni and what they can do to help us once they've left, and obviously the support continues even after you graduate as well. Is there anything before a student joins university? Like, would you have any words of advice for somebody perhaps looking to start? What would they do before coming to university that might increase their chances of employability at the end?
Yeah, so if you're looking to apply for postgraduate study or have caught this, it's a bit earlier in your kind of university career, I just really encourage you to draw on any opportunities that you can. So I know that sounds really obvious, but obviously in the present climate it can be a bit more difficult to do things like shadowing in the traditional sense. So what we've really advised students to do is look at, we do advertise a range of sort of virtual internships. So if you're perhaps in your 3rd year at the moment watching this, or are in a bit of a gap and then looking to join as a postgrad next year, you can look at virtual internships. So these are often ABG, Deloitte. There's a website called The Forage, I believe. It used to be Inside Sherpa, who advertise virtual internships, and that can give you a flavour of what you would expect in a variety of roles. There's a lot of law-based ones. There's a variety of business ones as well. I'd really encourage people to do some online learning. There's a huge range of free online courses that you can do to sort of top up your knowledge. So particularly if you're perhaps looking to make a bit of a transition from one degree in one area to one that's perhaps not so related or specialize a bit further, you might want to say pick up some coding languages, and you might not have studied that before. Then there's a huge range of websites out there: Google Garage, Udemy, LinkedIn Learning, and similar. And obviously once you hopefully come to university, we've got access to even more that we subscribe to, and are sort of premium ones as well, to really supplement what you're doing. So those are, I guess, the things that you can do from the comfort of your own home. But you can also just begin doing things like making sure that your CV's in good order, making sure that you're making use of LinkedIn, get your LinkedIn up to date, start reaching out to some closer contacts, and just seeing if there's any opportunities there as well. And obviously just carry on doing what you're doing. If you're doing things like volunteering, if you've got a part-time job, if you're already searching for temporary work and things like that, carry on doing that as well.
Fantastic. Lots of great advice there, from Phil. We've actually got a question come through from Stephen. So Stephen wants to know, is there any opportunities for international graduate students to take up part-time jobs at the university?
So yeah, Stephen, there are obviously what I say now is kind of, I guess, the most broad advice in this sort of area, because some of it will depend on your own individual visa restrictions if you have any as an international student. But we do work with an on-site recruitment agency, Unitemps, to offer a range of opportunities. So if you've ever attended an in-person open day, or if you've attended some of the digital open days, the student ambassadors are recruited through them, and we also work with a number of local employers through Unitemps to offer some part-time work as well. Beyond those sort of direct opportunities, sort of more through the university, again, my team do advise on any roles that you're looking for. It doesn't always have to be looking for that graduate role at KPMG or IBM or something like that. It can be that actually I just want to build up some money. I just want to build up some more sort of I guess basic, in some senses, work experience, just to get my foot in the door with some part-time or temporary work, and we're still happy to review those CVs, happy to review those cover letters, and talk to you about how to reach out to employers as well.
Brilliant, thank you. I hope that answers your question, Stephen. So we've got another question from Simrandeep, who just wants to know how to register to university. So the best thing to do is go onto our website, and we've got online chat where you can chat to students, and you can ask them about all the different courses that we do. And also, if you haven't decided yet, do have a browse all through the courses that we've got on the website. Have a chat to a student, and they'll be able to advise you the best route to take. So I hope that answers your question there. And Stephen says thank you very much as well, Phil, so for answering.
No problem at all, Stephen. I hope to speak with you soon.
Brilliant. So any last words of advice, Phil, before we wrap up for today? You've given lots and lots of really great advice already. So any last words to our viewers before we wrap up?
Yeah, definitely. I think the final words that I would say would be if you do decide to come and do a postgraduate course, is really just try and get involved as much as possible. I know a lot of students, both postgraduates and undergraduates, that have looked back or have contacted us as alumni and gone, oh, I wish I'd have done a bit more volunteering.
Oh, Phil's just frozen up a little bit.
More about this, or oh, sorry. So yeah,
I lost you for a second there, Phil.
So yeah, I was just saying that it's really important to just get involved, really. And if you're not sure where to start, do reach out and do ask for that support as well. A lot of people, particularly in this sort of first month when people have started their courses, are reaching out to us to say, well, I'm not really sure where to start. I want to do something. I want to improve my employability prospects. I really want to improve my chances. And that's fine as well. Just make use of what's here. Keep up to date. Simple things like checking your emails. I was getting on to My Gateway, which will be explained to you obviously when you arrive, and just signing up to events. Like, don't get too much tunnel vision of, oh, well, I'm only doing this one thing. If it's not exactly relevant to this, there's no point in doing it, because there's a huge range of transferable skills you can be developing. And in almost every case, any experience is better than no experience at all. So those are the words I'll leave you all with.
Brilliant, that's great. And Stephen also says he hopes to see you by February 2021, Phil. So that's great. We look forward to seeing you too, Stephen. That's fantastic. So we've just had one more question as well from Jason. he wishes to study mechatronics masters at DMU. How is the course assessed during the current situation? So I believe we've got a link for you, Jason, to study and apply for postgraduate degrees. So if you head on to the link dmu.ac.uk/study, applying for postgraduate. Oh, not that one. That's the one, yeah. So if you head over to our website there, you should be able to get all the advice that you need and information on there. So do head over to our website. And again, we've also got that online chat which just flashed up before then. So if you wanted to ask any students any questions, they'll be able to help you and point you in the right direction there as well. So fantastic. So I think that's it. I think we've got all the questions answered there. Brilliant. Well, thank you to everyone for watching, and I hope that's really helped, give you lots of advice and some inspiration and what to do if you're feeling a little bit stuck. But as I say, we've got the online chat with students, and we've got lots of information on our website. We've got an open day coming up as well if anybody's looking to do any further courses and study on the 14th of November. So do join us for that if you're interested. But all that remains me to say is thank you very much to Phil and giving us all that insight and expertise. That's fantastic. And thank you to all our viewers for watching, asking all your questions, and we hope to see you at De Montfort very soon. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.